if you remember season 3 of The Ultimate Fighter, it's Bisping season. So it's Ken Shamrock against...
Ross Poynton.
Yes, Ross Poynton. Brilliant. And Michael Bisping when he's proper English and that, mate. And he had to have subtitles.
Yeah, full airy chest.
Yeah. Crew cut. I like camo my shorts, but only half. All right, Mike, chill out. So you had Ken Shamrock against Tito.
Yeah.
They were the coaches.
Yeah.
One of the contestants was Matt Hamill.
Yes.
If you remember, who obviously has got a win against John Jones, not a DQ, even though it was a downward elbow. Either way, Matt Hamill was a solid dude.
Yeah.
Fucking rock hard and strong as a bull.
No, it's a win by DQ.
A win by DQ, sorry, yeah. So it wasn't, So it was just...
Took me a minute for that to filter back into my brain.
So it was a DQ, but it was a win by DQ, not just DQ.
Jones was in mount, landing downward elbows.
Yeah, and they were
coming straight down. The annoying thing is, if he'd have put them at fucking 11 or 1 and added a little angle change to them, it wouldn't have been...
anything.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, weird rule.
The coaches know that they are the coaches. They've had tenure. They've been there. They've done it. They should always win. Always, 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 because they're the older guys. Mm-hmm. They're the fucking forerunners. So when Hamill fought Tito and won, that was against the script.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And it's a bit similar to Tyron and Jake Paul, because Tyron's has got the in-ring experience. He had the aggression. He had the skills in all this.
It was a bit like Rashad knocking out Liddell.
It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Because that's wrong against all... Like, you came afterwards. That doesn't work that way. Do you know what I mean? GSP and Matt Hughes, it's like... And it wasn't even a changing of the guard with Jake Paul and Rashad... with Jake Paul and Tyron. It was more... Tyron knew that he didn't pull the trigger.
It was the dropping of the guard.
It was dropping of this guard. Nice. You take that all day. I'll make a T-shirt. But it kind of shouldn't have happened. But then when you start analysing it, and I don't mean analyse it like, Jake Paul gave him I'm going to knock you out harder than you've ever been knocked out in your life because I'm twice your size. Yeah. That's insane.
Try and stop yourself falling with your lips.
Yeah. Mate.
Like, no one's going to fucking do that. It was such a stupid thing to fucking say.
But because...
and the other thing as well is if you flip it and go the opposite way, you can tell when someone's faking.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What was her name? That Brazilian fighter, the Luana... Is it Pinejo? I can't remember.
You're very close to another word that I can't say because I think he's swearing.
But she got upkicked. Was it by Randa Marcos? I'm sure it is Luana Pinejo. I'm sure she got upkicked by Randa Marcos and looked at the referee and put her hands down before she fell on her side and pretended to be unconscious.
Got some birds just to fly around her head.
Look at the way someone falls. Like, imagine trying to just fall flat and keep your hands by your side all the way down.
Mate.
You're not going to fucking do it.
We all did it as kids. You did it on the bed and you can't do it.
That's why the Del Boy scene, when he falls through the bar...
Gold.
In Only Fools and Horses, is one of the best...
You don't see the bottom half.
You don't see it.
Exactly.
But he's falling onto a mat. But it's even more difficult to do still.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to fucking... Like, it's yeah.
Well, actors struggle with it when they know there's going to be an explosion. Like, my friend at school was in The Bill because her dad was part of the cast.
Yeah.
And she said she had to run away. I think they'd been kidnapped and she had to run across a road and they had to do like 50 takes because of the 4 kids. All of them would anticipate the explosion. So before it had gone off, they'd start running, know they get to the white line, they'd be like, and then it'd bang.
Yeah.
So they'd review the take. They go, you can't react to an explosion before it's been an explosion. We shouldn't have told you.
No.
Fucking idiots. But it's when even like Josh Koscheck and Paul Daly.
Yeah.
There's a fucking video, man.
Yeah.
Like, you see that knee that just sailed past your lips? Oh yeah. Didn't touch you. It's like, well, it was the presence of the knee.
What was the other one that Koscheck did? Was it the eye poke with Anthony Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a lot of shady shit. And back in the day of doing it in a working man's club, you're all right. When there's 1,000 cameras and every person watching can have every angle.
Yeah.
So the thing I think with the Jake Paul thing that gets more and more evident is, other than the fact that he's a young dude, he may or may not be juicing, he's got a lot of momentum behind him and he's basically fighting smaller guys.
Did you see the video that he put out in response to Dana? So Dana and him have been going back and forth.
He was saying that he would quit boxing altogether if Dana gave half the revenue of the UFC, of which this year was at $1 billion or whatever it was.
Yeah.
but he had a load of things lined out.
Yeah, it was like Dana wanted to drug test. Dana agreed to be drug tested as long as he could drug test Jake Paul, and there was a whole bunch of stuff back and forth. But like Jake Paul put this video out where he's standing there and he's like, "Oh, look, I'm like fat," and he's just kind of like hanging his arms, and he just looks fucking completely out of shape. But I don't know. I mean, I think he's playing a very, very clever game, and I think he's picked his opponents very well. And I feel disappointed for Tyron because I think it's a fight that he should have won. And I think 5-6 years ago he would have won that fight. He just doesn't have that spark
and it
anymore.
Goes. Yeah. It does go.
Of course it does.
And it's not always chin. It's even when you look at Mike Perry and there's that famous clip of him.
That punch would have knocked out anybody of middleweight or below. Mate. I would say because it was just. I mean, that's what the feint was about. You know, like, that's why he kind of postured like that because he was trying to get Tyron to block a shot to the body.
Yeah,
and then he just fucking. I actually think what he expected to happen because if you watch the feint that he used before, Tyron does this. Okay. He goes with the opposite side. So then when Jake Paul feints the second time to throw the overhand, he actually goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
And I think Jake was planning on hitting him with the guard up on this side and just expecting to be able to hit him through or around the guard. So when Tyron actually went the opposite way with the opposite hand, it was just a gift.
Yeah.
And it was right on the fucking temple. And you can't fall like that and pretend. It was just one of them things. You got caught clean. I don't think Tyron had at all anticipated that Jake Paul might be able to knock him out.
No.
I don't think. I think especially because he didn't really take any big shots in the first fight,
and he hadn't really done it to anyone else. No. It's not like as much the Ben Askren thing. It wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, but Ben Askren was laughing as he was walking backstage.
Of course he was because he knows he's got a fucking fat check in his bank. The fact that Jake Paul is younger and an athlete and. He's having a go. I mean,
and he's a big kid as well. I mean, he's what 6'2", 6'3".
That's the only
200
thing.
pounds.
I'd like to see him with someone a little bit, just a little bit bigger. Yeah. And I'm not saying I want to see him lose because I've got nothing but respect for the fact that he's having a go. And I think if Dana was actually true to himself, he's fucking smooth. That was bang on.
I'd still like to see him fight Tommy Fury.
I'd love to see it.
I think that would be a legitimately difficult fight for both of them.
And
they're both young. They've both got
there's a lot to lose.
There's a lot to lose for Tommy Fury, which is why I don't think he'll do it.
We will call you Tommy Smith from now on.